to another minute of the Minute of the Apes podcast, the daily podcast where we break down every stinking ape movie 1 minute at a time. I'm your host, Todd, and on the other end is my dear friend, Sean.
Hello.
So, this will be Friday for everyone listening. We're in minute 24 through 25. It begins with a tilting shot down a rock face where we see our astronauts making their way through the bottom of a canyon. And it ends with Skipper looking up at some X-shaped things on the top of a mountain. Or, sorry, the hill. That's not a mountain. That's a hill.
Are you making a mountain out of a molehill?
I am.
All right, so at this point, we're still got 3 living humans, 1 dead human, 1 uprooted plant, and no apes. But, Todd, oh my God, something actually happens in this minute.
I know, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in. I'm going to get ahead of our minute, but this is within our minute because you had your count. We now have to add, we have few mysterious humanoid figures above the rocky chasm.
I know, we might have to add 3 or 4 other things to the count.
At some point, it's going to get to the point where we, outside of naming our astronauts or something like that, we may just have to say humanoids. Because there were more people that you can possibly count, at least as, we've had so far in this.
Yeah, so you see him running around at the top of the frame. Real quick, before we get into the mysterious humanoids, what happened to Dodge? You were talking about it earlier about the crappy backpacks, but what happened to Dodge's backpack? He doesn't have it there now.
Is it gone?
I went back to the 23:18 mark just to see. That's, I think, one of the last times you see his back, and he had a backpack. All 3 of them had a backpack, but Dodge doesn't have one now.
I think he threw it at the other 2, telling them to shut up.
And then a little bit later, Landon doesn't have a backpack either.
Okay, so maybe they are doing what I said, which is let's break it down, and the bitchiest person carries everything, and they give it to Taylor.
They give it to Taylor all the work. Look, if you're going to be a crab apple, you get to do all the shit work.
So we finally have a little bit of a mystery. Besides that they've crashed, they don't know where they are, they don't know when they are, but now we have a mystery in that we have some odd humanoid shapes running above the hilltops, looking down at our astronauts.
Yep, and it looks like, maybe 3, 4, 5 of them running around up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a definite count because there are a couple of moments where they run.
Go in and out.
Yeah. They run behind what would be the line of the top of the chasm, and then they reintroduce. So who knows how they did it in production. They could have had 15 people, but it does have that feeling of no more than 10 running in and out of the frame.
Yeah, I mean, at one point we do see 3 of them together, so we know there's at least 3.
Right. And as I watched that, I went back to watch that initial shot as it pans across the top of the chasm. For that very reason, I wanted to see how many people. But what struck me, I know that Leon, our director of photography, did a lot of hand-holding camera stuff in this, but the shot looks like it's on a tripod because it's relatively smooth to a point. Then, holy crap, does it have the herky-jerkiness of being not smooth and then smooth out? So was this the only take? Because Schaffner, and his other things, we thought maybe he did it in one take, but it definitely has this Did they look and think, okay, no one's going to notice that unless they watch this thing 1 minute at a time?
Unless they look, if it's only 15 seconds, they'll never notice it.
Right. Or was it the best shot they had, or what was it? But it is definitely a bit messy.
Yeah. And again, to kind of go back to the plant excitement that they had earlier, now they've got trees and stuff around them, and they don't even give a shit about that.
Well, and I had that note, too, that, there's apparently more than just milkweed. But the one thing I'll say for this, so if you want to break it down, you can sit there and think, why isn't someone saying, hey, look at this tree, look at this plant, look at this shrub? Dodge isn't anywhere to be seen in this. Dodge
I know, yeah.
Could be in the background taking different samples or digging things up with his pocket knife.
Yeah, because he wouldn't be in the lead, or else he would have saw the X's first. So, right. Yeah, he's got to be behind them somewhere.
So, he's either running ahead or staying behind. But I
just
thought the same thing.
Staying the fuck away from them.
That they're so unimpressed with what they were seeking out. And now it's kind of like, we've seen plants. I don't even care anymore.
And we do get Landon calling Taylor Skipper again.
We do, and the one thing that I wish that we would have seen with Dodge being out of frame is, it would have been nice if he's back over there going, this is this kind of plant, this is whatever, if he was off camera and our two assholes could be ignoring him.
Yeah.
But you at least hear him, you hear him basically saying, this is what we found. So one thing that struck me for a film made in the 60s, did they get any flack, or did anybody kind of say anything about putting an African American as a scientist? Because and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but that's a rather brave choice for a film in the 60s to put
a woman, although they killed her, but an African American with two white guys.
Well, not only an African American with two white guys, but as the scientist of the
being
group.
The smart one?
Yeah, that, I don't know that too many films in the 60s were willing to say that an African American man could be the smartest one in there. Nowadays, in fact, the funny thing is, as we sit here and do this, Sean, Rise of the Planet of the Apes just came on TV, and the head of the foundation where the main character works for is an African American man, so a very intelligent man. We can now see that. I'm looking at this film, and I started thinking, wow.
A little progressive?
Yeah, were they forward-thinking in their own way just by the casting choice of putting an African-American man as the scientist of the group?
I wonder if Serling had anything to do with that.
Yeah, he was a forward thinker, so maybe he did. Maybe, I wonder if in his original script, if it actually called for
the ethnicities of everybody.
Right, and, if anyone knows where I can find that original script. I found some script reprints, but none of them said they were the original shooting script, and I can't find it. I'd love to see that so we can check against it, but I find that very, very fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited that we actually now have some more people in this. We're going to assume get to see them in the upcoming minutes. I'm wondering who they are, what these aliens are, what's going on.
And what do they want from our astronauts?
And what are these X's?
Well, before we get there, I want to point out, finally these guys look like they've been in the desert, because now their jackets are open. There's a little dirt on them.
They're nice and sweaty.
Yes.
Yeah, they've unbuttoned everything. They've stepped it down a notch. Yeah.
Right. So we have the X's on the hillside. Is Ramsay Bolton waiting on the other side?
Are these the flayed men?
Yeah. I hate to be a Game of Thrones nerd, but as soon as I saw it, I thought, hey, Game of Thrones. What a simple design, though.
It probably goes the other way around. Game of Thrones probably got that from this.
I wouldn't doubt that, but what a great, simple design. X's have that negative family feud connotation, but you put it up there and it says beware. So we have danger introduced. Not only do we have humanoids looking, but it's at least exciting because we know you shouldn't go that way.
That's true.
Do you think
Unless they're saying XXX, this is where all the nude women are.
Ooh, hey, hang on. I didn't know it was that kind of movie. Ooh.
This could be Planet of the Stripper Apes.
Charlton's over there going, yes, I knew there was something more. We definitely have mysteries. We definitely have potential danger. Things are ramping up.
I'm excited to see where we're going now. Unless it goes to now another 10 minutes of them walking, in which case I might have to just punch you in the face.
I have to tell everybody that Sean did text me during the week as he was making his notes. Minute 25, something happened, so I don't want to let you down.
Please don't let me down.
I think you're going to be very, very happy.
Yay.
Anything else for you?
That's it for me.
Yeah. So let's say I guess that wraps up the week, does it not?
I believe so. That takes its care.
That's another week in the books for the Minute of the Apes podcast. So thank you for listening this week. Thank you for coming out next week, because we know you're going to be there. Visit us at minuteoftheapes.com. Find links to our social media, our email. Everything is there. So saying goodbye for the week, I'm Todd.
I'm Sean.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.